Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Mind Your Exam. In this video, we will be doing a Python program and we'll write the program to check whether a given number is a prime number or not. So let's try to understand this program. So what I have done is I have taken the input from the user asking for the number, and this I have done using the input function. Since the input function returns a string, that is why I have converted this number into an integer, assuming that the number that we have to check whether it is a prime or not will be an integer. So the integer version of the user input will be stored in the variable num, and then I am calling the function that I have defined named as prime. Prime function is taking one argument, which is the number that we have taken from the user. Now let's see how the prime function actually functions. So this is the prime function. Basically, in the prime function, we are first checking whether the number that has been entered by the user is 1 or not. We are checking this because we know 1 is neither a prime number nor a composite number. So if the number that the user has entered is 1, then we can directly print that not a prime number and we can skip this entire part. Okay, so the if condition, if it becomes true, only this statement of the prime function will be executed. Otherwise, this entire part will be executed when the number is not equal to 1. So if the number is not equal to 1, we will come into the else part, and here we are declaring a variable named flag. We are declaring this variable or using this variable because we want that as soon as we get an indication that the current number that the user has entered has a factor and it is not a prime number, then we can break out of this loop and do not waste more iterations of this loop. So the use of this flag variable will become clear towards the end of this program. So let's see what is actually happening here is, if the number entered by the user is not 1, then we will enter this else condition. In the else condition, we have used a loop which is running from the value 2 and going till num minus 1. We know that when we write 2 comma num, it basically loops from this particular value to this particular value minus 1. So for each value that will be taken by the loop variable I, what we are doing? We are checking whether the number remainder calculated by I is equal to 0. That means if the number divided by the value of I gives a remainder of 0, that means this particular I is a factor of the particular number that the user has entered. In that case, we will set the value of the flag variable as false. We will print the statement not a prime number and we will break out of the loop. So we are checking from 2 to num because for any given number, the factors of that number, a factor is any number that completely divides the other number that we are considering. So if the user has entered the value 30, then 5 is a factor of 30 because 30 divided by 5 gives you 0. Similarly, 6, 2, 3, 10 are factors of 30. So any number will have its factors starting from 2 till number minus 1 itself. Okay, so that is why we are checking for each value that is lying in this range. If any of those values is a factor of the given number, then we set the flag as false. We print that it is not a prime number and then we break out of the loop. However, if there is a scenario in which no number in this particular range 2 to num minus 1 is a factor of the given number, then the value of flag variable will not change and this loop will terminate with the value of the flag variable remaining true, because if no number completely divides the given number entered by the user, then we will not change the value of flag to false. And when we come out of this for loop, the value of this flag would again be true. So we are checking if we have come out of this for loop and the value of flag is still true. That means we did not find any number which completely divides the user entered value. That is why we are printing that it is a prime number. Okay, so let's execute this. Let's see, let's start with this case when the number entered by the user is 1. So in this case, as you can see, it is not a prime number. We again execute it. Let's say the value 30 and we print the result and we get the result not a prime number. Now let's enter a prime number, say 7, and when we execute it, we see that the correct result is displayed, that the particular program is a particular value entered by the user is a prime number. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video, mind your exam.